We're blessed to be a blessing. You reap what you sow, so you better sow some good. We're blessed to be a blessing.
What's up, best friends? It's your girl Q back at Blessed to Be a Blessing, where we are blessed to be a blessing. Thanks so much for tuning in. I just want to give you guys a real quick recap of Sistas. Tonight's episode was season 3, episode 14, called One Word Answers. So, boom, I'll just go ahead and jump right in, starting with my favorite characters, Zach and Fatima. So they didn't show much about them tonight, which is okay. That's okay. We already know Zach's got it going on. He's got all that money now. He just bought the house, so he showed up at Fatima's house with a dozen, maybe 2 dozen white roses. She was all dressed in lingerie, waiting on him. He was looking all good, still had his suit on from going out purchasing his first home earlier that day. So, congratulations to Zach. And he came correct. He let Fatima know, hey, he asked her, would she come and decorate? Would she come help him buy a bed? And then he was like, and then would you move in? Okay. So, of course, she was just like, oh, I don't know about all that. And so he like, no, I want to hear all that. So I'm thinking that they're going to be a real thing, guys. I really am. And I'm super duper in Zach's corner, rooting for him to be happy. Like he said, he's been taken care of by someone else all of his life, and he wants to take care of her. And I think she should give him a chance at that, because for one, when Zach didn't have anything, when she met him on a bicycle and she hit him with her car on a bicycle last season, she liked him then when he had nothing. So now that he got some money and everything, he's doing well, it's only right that she stay with him. But she encouraged him. She made him feel like a man. She made him feel like he could do things and better. Unlike Karen, who always dogged him out. Speaking of, so Karen is just like all in her feelings now, y'all. He done gave her that big fat check, paid her back for everything she's ever done for him, which was the right thing for him to do. But Zach is done with her. He's done. And like most men, when they done, they done. We need to take notes from them, okay? Us women, sometimes we just hang on a little too long or try to hold on to something that ain't nothing. But anyway, Zach has moved on. He's found Fatima. He's happy with her. Karen was happy until she found out about the money that he's got, and also that he's got Fatima and that he's really digging her. So I feel like she's just trying to reel him back in, and she needs to let it go. She doesn't really want Preacher Man. Right now, he's just basically a rebound. He was probably always just a rebound. And so, she wasn't even into him. Like, apparently they have Wednesday nights set up for dates, her and Aaron, the preacher guy. And so he showed up right after she had just left Zach a voice message. She's like, oh, yeah, Zach, it's nice to see that you took me off block, but I want to see you. Call me. I want you to come by. Quit begging, girl. He quit begging, okay? He done left that bone alone and got him a woman that's thick with some meat on her bones. Okay, kudos to Zach. And so anyway, here comes Aaron knocking on the door with the Chinese food ready to, have their Wednesday night date night. She totally forgot. He was like, oh, you forgot. She like, oh. She was just all out of it, y'all. Her mind was all on Zach, period. So she went ahead and was like, okay, well, she tried to make the best of it. And he was like, I can leave if you want. She's like, nah. So they ended up watching a movie. So he picked the movie. Well, it turns out she was looking all sad and stuff at the end of the movie. And he like, well, what's wrong now? What's going on? She like, well, why did you pick that movie? It's about a woman who was in love with 2 men, and she ended up picking the man who was the ex-con, who was not the ex-con. She was like, where are you going with that? Like, did you do that on purpose? And he was like, no, I really didn't. I didn't think about it. The movie just had good ratings, blah, blah, blah. Which, come on now, that man ain't stupid. He know what he was doing. He want Karen to pick him. And she's probably not going to pick him. If she does, it's just going to be a rebound because she's in love with Zach. And I'm not saying that she never did have love for Zach in the first place. I believe she really did. And to stick with a man for 3 years who's an ex-con, ain't had no money, can't keep no job, cheating on you and all that kind of mess. For me though, if I had been through all of that with him, honey, that love would have been dwindling day by day. Okay, every time he messed up or every time something wasn't right, I would have been dwindling away with the love. But apparently, it worked out for them for that time or whatever. But now it's just the end. So anyway, her and Aaron started making out and everything, and she ended up calling the man Zach, child. So we'll see next week how that's gonna play out. Basically, he just like, look, you love him, you still in love with him. What do I have to do to get him off your mind? And so that's what he need to understand. That's not gonna happen. You can't get him off of her mind. So anyway, that was Karen. Then on to Andy. It wasn't really much about Andy tonight either, and I'm glad because I'm just the Andy and Gary story is just stale and old to me. I just don't even like it. I don't like Gary. Gary getting on my nerves. Like he's sitting up in her apartment. She comes home. He just sitting up in there. He gonna give her the silent treatment in her house. She like, hey, hello. He ain't say a word. Really? So then they get into a little argument again about his therapist, and she trying to let him know, look, fool, the therapist want to sleep with you. Yeah, she gonna tell you that I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna, she like, I'm a woman. I know when a woman is trying to sleep with somebody, and that's what she trying to do. So who knows what Gary, he is just totally untrustworthy. I don't even know why Andy even tries with him. I mean, just let him go. Let him go. I'm sick of that. So that was their little story. She told him leave her key. She's going to get her locks changed again. I hope she does. But he told her though, like, this time if I leave, Andy, I'm not coming back. So let's pray that he doesn't. Okay. Boom. Let's move on into my girl, Danny. Love me some Danny. She's so funny. So, Rodeo, as they call, her boyfriend. His name escapes me right now. But anyway, Rodeo called her. He like, look, come through, So she go home and he's sitting there kind of like, she like, well, what's wrong? What's going on? He don't really know how to act because like he told her, you don't like my music. You don't like talking about cows. You don't want to talk about my family. Like, I don't really know what to talk about. So now he's like trying to do all this extra stuff with her, like talking all this rap music lingo. And he's like, we don't have anything in common. So let's just beep, 4-letter word he drops on her. And she like, wait a minute. Don't say that. Don't say that. And he like, why? That's all we got in common. So they decided to just talk and get to know each other and actually learn each other, which is good because that's all they've been doing is humping since they met. Now, don't get me wrong. Rodeo is fine. He is fine. He is. So at first I was happy Danny had found somebody who was really into her, but he was moving too fast. I would say he was moving too fast. And the thing about him, if y'all been watching, comment below what you think. Okay, now he's supposed to come from money. Like his family is supposed to have money or whatever. So if that's the case, why is he living with Danny in her little small efficiency apartment? And then when she tells him to leave, he goes to live with a cousin. Why can't he just go and get his own place? I'm confused on that. Mr. Perry, if you watching, can you go ahead and write that in? Or if you already uncovered that, what season and what episode did we find out why Rodeo is living with Danny? I just need to know, okay? So anyway, so that was their little thing. They bonded. They told some little secrets, things that they've never shared with anybody. So they're bonding on another level. And then eventually they did end up doing what they do best. Okay. And so then finally Sabrina. So Sabrina, after she picks up Maurice or drives Maurice home from the bank after, they got robbed last week or whatever, they go home and honey, some girl come running up out of Calvin's room, butt naked, running into the refrigerator. So they looking like, who is this? And I know she ain't in his room. And he come naked out the room. So Sabrina was just like, she couldn't even say anything. She was just like, and Maurice was like, oh, y'all know he was cutting the food, looking all at Kelvin's package. And he was like, okay. So Kevin was all embarrassed. He didn't know what to say. He's like, oh, Sabrina, like, oh no, oh, so Sabrina just left. And then Kevin was like, what was she doing here? And what you doing here? And he like, she was giving me a ride home and this is my house. Like, come on now, Maurice, like, what you doing up here with some other woman? Mind you, him and Sabrina literally like the day before or last week anyway, they just made up and had sex together. So Kelvin is trying to justify it as, well, she won't commit to me. She don't want to commit, so I don't. It's not like I'm going to see other people basically. So he goes over to her house to I guess apologize or whatever, and all the girls are there, so they're all congregating at her house talking about their problems and their issues. So she told them about what happened. So he shows up and they like giving him the third degree. Y'all know how they do. Which I promise you, if I had a group of friends like that, you gonna stay up out my relationship like that. I don't need you trying to check my man or tell him that. That's how you know this is TV. But anyway, so he was like, look, we ain't in no relationship. You don't want to commit. I'm going to see other people. I'm cooking dinner tonight. You need to be there at 8 o'clock. And he walks out. So Danny and Andy, they like, ooh, that turned them on. They like, ooh, girl, yes, you better go, girl. So anyway, he ended up going home and he was cooking and everything, but Sabrina didn't show up, at least not in tonight's episode. Maybe next week she'll show up. I got a feeling that she is, though. I'm gonna predict that next week Sabrina's gonna show up because that turned her on too, him being forceful and taking charge and like boom. And it's probably also gonna make her want to go ahead and commit. The man told her he loved her last week. She don't want to say she love him. She ain't in love. She don't want to commit all of this mess. So I mean, he doing his own thing. Now he was wrong because they could have at least discussed whether they were going to see other people or not, because that's just nasty. Now you just done laid up with her, laying in the bed with her. Now here you is laid up with somebody else. Kelvin, you're nasty with your lace panty wearing self. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. And then Maurice, not too much about Maurice, other than he was just sitting around telling Kelvin that Sabrina ain't coming to eat this dinner. It's not going to happen. So that was pretty much tonight's episode. I'm excited about next week. Of course, my favorite characters are Zach, Fatima, Danny, and Maurice. So I'm always checking for what they got going on. If you have not subscribed or hit the notification bell, go ahead and do that now, because I am also uploading tonight a bootleg version of tonight's episode. So if you don't have cable or you didn't have a chance to see it, you can catch it right here on my channel, the full episode, no commercial. So go ahead, holler at your girl, like, share, comment, subscribe, and we will talk again. So thank you all for tuning in to Blessed to Be a Blessing, where we are blessed to be a blessing. Don't forget, you reap what you sow, so you better sow some good. All right, have a blessed night, and I will see you guys soon. Good night.